let's leave these two dudes out over here and see. All right, see the central issue here. Well, that could be kind of like something more like along your path. So King of Pentacles is really good calming energy. It is possibly that kind of like an energy where earth signs are striving, kind of like a comfort of accomplishment, success, and being in a space where you can now, well, enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? Where you know that, you know, all of that, you know, determination and sacrifices and everything you have been doing haven't been in vain. So this is really, really important opening, and I really like it because maybe, you know, you have to go through someone who could be, as I said, who kind of like got up on the wrong side of the bed, and you kind of like sometimes have to go around people. Let me zoom this out with the sun and camera. Now it's kind of going to be harder to see. So it's almost like person craves for cloudy weather. So let's see what is this crossed with, and it's crossed with Lovers reversed. It almost like makes me feel that some of you are feeling other than maybe dealing with Taurus or Gemini, sort of like that kind of like late spring kind of like thing. Maybe you're thinking, well, you know, all I want to do is be comfortable, and I'm going to remove things and people because that always includes some kind of strife, or it always includes some kind of negotiation. Almost like you have your own goal and you really don't want anybody to get into that goal. So it is really, it's kind of like really interesting over here. So the next thing that I see here is Chariot. Well, let me just zoom this in. I think would be better. Come on, where are you? Here you are. So Chariot is really good, and that's why I really want to point out. We have like this black and we have white horse. So they're like trying to get somewhere, but if you're noticing, each of them is really pulling in their own direction, right? So the Chariot here really has to be very focused. This is all about, you know, set, aim, go, and like this is like a really immense kind of like fast motion forward. Also, it's worth noting that this really comes after this. Maybe, you know, you have abandoned one goal and you just like felt maybe a person that you have been maybe interested in, maybe involved in, maybe the breakup happened, maybe somebody really wanted something superficial where you really wanted something permanent, and it just like felt like you're not only on the same planet, but you're not even in the same galaxy. So this kind of like to me talks about revival, a new feeling of success, a new feeling of, hey, I'm getting somewhere. This is a really nice underlining feature over here, especially because of this this kind of like general energy over here. So let's see what is in the past. And we have Ace of Swords. Well, this will be the first one of this suit. This will be the last one of this suit. So this is clearly like that has been either disagreements, either you are really not seeing the life in the same way. They're like too big of the differences. They're too big of, you know, you were brought up differently, or you have developed in a very different people that kind of like one always wants what the other one doesn't want. So it's kind of like really difficult when you deal with this contrast, right? Because this is the card which is one of my karma cards, but it's also talking about, yeah, harshness, and could be lies. And it's almost like that you're looking at something and somebody and you're saying, wow, this has potential to go so far, very, very far, but it never went there. It's kind of like scratching your head and wondering what's going on. It is like really somebody who, you know, I don't know, maybe you've been through, as I said, abusive relationship. Maybe it has been highly manipulative. Maybe it hasn't been kind of like abuse per se, but it felt that way because somebody is almost like goading you into doing things. Maybe somebody was telling you things, mocking you, that you're kind of crazy. And people do that these days very, very often. So it is very, very strange, given then they're like these two kings over here, like, I mean, that they're really competing. So there was like somebody who has let you down, or there is like a person that you really need to deal with who kind of has a history of not only letdowns and lies, but you will have a really hard time determining, which one is a lie or which one is the truth, because they say just enough truthful statements that you just cannot disregard everything they say, right? Because these two cards need to turn around, and then they will actually be really, really good. It's about somebody who worked through hardships. So let me see, what is your hope and your expectations? Yeah, you know what? If you're asking or hoping to find information in this reading about a past partner or about somebody from the past, this is the card to really, draw. Because this is really telling me that, it has been a person with whom, let's say you knew who you are. It was never a question. You never really doubted yourself. But you really were shocked why you are even bothering with this person. It was like very difficult for you to even explain it to yourself, that there was like some kind of like a set of situations which kept making you going in that direction. You guys basically represented with the devil card, and devil talks about different addictions and different people who kind of like trigger and push certain buttons in their life, right? You're the very last earth sign. Really, after you, we only have air and water. And so you basically need to kind of like shed anything that sort of like you would feel, I need to earn it kind of a thing, right? So this past lives card, the moon, is really talking about that perceptions. As I said before, it kind of like felt, hi Safi, you love Capricorn? That was a big hesitation. Are you going to lay down right now here? So guys, it almost looks like it's something is becoming very clear. Maybe somebody's emotional makeup is becoming very clear to you. You kind of like are not, maybe you felt jealous before and now you're not anymore. Now like you're maybe just thinking to yourself, well, just pathetic, and you really think I'll fall for it. Maybe you did fall for it, because you see that your card that I was saying kind of like makes you meet a whole bunch of characters, and you are going to be specifically in your life intrigued with air signs and with water signs, right? Because they're very, very different. So that's why you have water and air kind of like turning around upside your own significators, right? So air, right? So what did you decide? Or did you decide to help Capricorn? Huh? Miss Magic? I'm going to shed your magic. She's a good luck for those of you who are new. Safi is my pretty girl. She's very talkative. She's Aquarius. She's right now 6.5 years old. Right? And she really tells you off. She really is extremely intelligent and can even carry a small conversation as long as you ask yes or no questions. Right, Safi? Right? Do you love me? No? Not very much? No? Why? What did I do? How about... Oh, you too, but I'm asking stupid questions. Yes, I know. It's kind of like amazing how certain things in tarot is that you need to kind of pay attention to everything that goes around you. So cat coming on the table, cards that she touches, how she communicates, what she's saying is also very, very important, because we just kind of like don't live in a capsule, right? We are not in that bubble that, okay, so what happens in a bubble just happens in a bubble. It's not kind of like a Vegas kind of a thing, right? So here, I'm really seeing that you're possibly craving this. You're possibly craving some nice soft place to fall where you're going to be told you're loved, and you feel that you have lots of to contribute, but you're also feeling that the situation where you're at is not necessarily the best spot you can be at, right? Both of these cards are ruled with moon. One is moon, and Cancer is ruled by moon being their significator, right? So moon card is really talking about, our perception of things. That sometimes our perception is not necessarily the truth. It's not factual. It's just like something that we see. It talks about conscious and subconscious. It talks about getting information through your dreams and kind of like getting information from different people through maybe just a wink or smile. You're able to kind of like read it. It's a very psychic card, especially when it turns around like this, right? Because at this stage, some kind of clarity, because here maybe you posed a question, maybe you want to get answers, maybe, as I said, somebody was like making fool out of you, saying you're nuts, no, you shouldn't be thinking this way, no, you shouldn't be feeling this way. Don't you love when people do that, when they say that? But I think you're getting a complete clarity, everything, because look at this, water, air, like you're surrounded with I need answers, we need answers, right? Because it's a head or heart, right? You have the ability as an earth sign to be really grounded, to kind of like really look at things in a very pragmatic way, just like somebody's grounding herself on the table. Safi, are we going to tell them what is like immediately coming? Yes, Safi is going to be sleeping, and then she's going to leave the table because I'm going to ask her. So immediately, guys, you're getting temperance. Can you please stop doing this, please? Please, let's not mess things up, huh? I know you like the sun, but like there are many other windows that I have. Do you not want to go and sleep in those special beds that you have for Safi? Safi girl? Where is Safi girl? You don't want to go and play with Matrix or with Tiger? Come here. Come here. Come. Here. Good girl. Let's see how long this is going to last. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Temperance, guys. That is a really good thing. You see, he is kind of like chasing the star over here. You can see the star in his crown over here, above his head, the wings, right? But here, like, I mean, this is like full-blown angel over here. It's like double the energy. The cups over here are representing that we can merge the impossible. We can merge things that are, love and hate. Maybe you kind of like grew apart from your partner. If you don't have a partner, you maybe wonder if you're ever going to meet somebody solid, somebody with whom you can build life together, not just for coffee or something, but something that's going to be really, really important. And you felt time after time that people are deceptive, maybe not even interesting, maybe even cruel, maybe you even felt from time to time they disappeared, and it kind of like it feels like you really want certain things to line up, and ta-da, things are lining up. And I'm going to stop this recording for a second to try to talk Safi into going to bed and sleeping in her bed, so we'll see how that's going to work out. Okay, here we are. Took lots of pleading, and can you please let us kind of like do it on our own, right? So very much like I didn't tell her the truth. She cannot comprehend. I need to do the reading. Like, how can anything be more important than me? Maybe you're dealing with a person like that. Maybe not as sweet as Safi, but I clearly see that, maybe something can be worked out. So the next thing that I really want to look here is just to see your attitude. You see, this is not a good attitude. This is another karma card with justice card. And look at his big eyes watching. Karma is watching, right? It is really talking about things really come in balance. But very much like this one so it's almost like angelic kind of like interaction. Here it is like more or less talking about that you are not feeling that certain things can be worked out. Maybe some of you are going through separation or through divorce, and maybe somebody just like took off, and Safi, oh my goodness, come on, you have to get off the table. Here I am. I'm so sorry. Like, now she is actually making me nervous. So maybe this is simply just describing that kind of like, you know, feeling that you're playing poker with sweaty palms. Everybody knows what you have in your hand. You know, maybe you're not trusting the process. Maybe you're not trusting the universe. You kind of like feel maybe that I kind of like got something out of somewhere. This could be almost like financial consideration that, you know, you feel that you have been affected in the past. And it's really difficult to kind of like really give yourself a push, right? When this kind of like reverses, it's very interesting, because even though it doesn't feel like, hey, you know, you're getting somewhere, things are finally balancing out kind of a thing, justice always gets served. Even though you had disputes and dishonesties, or somebody was not accountable, it doesn't mean that everybody else is that way. So guys, like, I mean, so far what I see here is that you have this almost like intervention happening over here. Something is happening over here in your reading that is saying to you, look, you're actually on the right path, despite of the appearances, despite of everything that has been going on. So just keep going, kind of thing. In your environment, we see Nine of Cups. And I really think this is possibly what really worries you, that, you know, you're dealing with someone who really doesn't know what they want, right? So Nine of Cups is really about kind of like feeling leisurely, feeling, hey, you know what, now I can relax a little bit, kind of a thing, right? So Nine of Cups is sort of the card where we really hope for so much more in our own lives, but it kind of like reversed over here, right? So this can really tell me that maybe you are processing others, or somebody's processing you in a very kind of materialistic sort of way. It also can spell some kind of like overindulgence. And it could be that you're also dealing with somebody who also had lots of their own setbacks and losses, right, in their own life. So that's kind of like really, really important to acknowledge over there. So next is going to be checking like the fears and the hopes for the upcoming month. Three of Wands. That's actually a lovely card to get into this area. Three of Wands is clearly talking about vision. It's kind of like looking at the sunrise. Where am I going from here? In which direction I'm going to go? I really like how basically the wind is rocking these waves, and you can see the boat, which basically kind of does look like a sun. And she doesn't seem to be concerned at all. She's holding onto one of these wands where the others are really solid. So it kind of like really tells me that certain things have been built in your life, and you kind of like still want or need one more prong, right? And you're really hoping this is what's going to happen, right? You maybe came from a situation where, you know, certain things collapsed or certain things crashed, right? Three of Wands to me is about progression. Three of Wands for me is about moving forward and kind of like hope for something better, kind of like going into much better, stronger situation where there is some kind of planning, there is some kind of strategy, right? The fears are, again, some kind of like self-talk, and I really think you will have to deal with that self-talk this month. You are kind of like maybe really entirely focused on your career. Maybe you're entirely focused on possibly lawsuits that are going around you, or it's maybe a collapse of relationship of some sort, where everything that is really happening is something that you have experienced in one of your past lives. This is one of those karma is calling, you know? Karma is repeating this thing for you to see if you will know the answer this time around, right? So this is also talking about these obstacles, and there is a risk involved, right? It kind of like has to be something. So do not let disappointment stop you. Do not talk yourself into, well, never mind, I know how the story ends. This Temperance here is very, very strong. It's really talking about patience. You're earth sign, like you guys are famous for having ability to kind of like go on this kind of like long term in that direction. So this is really important development, guys. Like 301 is really saying keep going and keep going. So don't allow even yourself to come in a way. So the direction this month is Knight of Wands. It's reversed. It's really sad. It's guys, you can work on it. Now you have this reading. The reading is telling you you can work on it. Like, I mean, there are like few extremely positive highlights over here, like including this one. But you have to overcome you. We have to work against you. Like, there is like Knight of Wands over here. Knight of Wands reverses. It is somebody who is unreliable. It does happen. Energy attracts energy, right? And it's kind of like, really, if you're thinking and no, it's not going to happen, then you're going to get your way. So it's a little bit of positivity that you need to kind of like set your aim. You need to kind of like know where you're going. Knight of Wands is tending to be like more or less a one night stand, or just like, I mean, kiss you and leave you, ma'am, kind of a thing, right? It's not necessarily something, but it's also not somebody who is going to lie to you about it. It's going to be somebody who is very transparent, etc. So you have to understand that just like you, we all have our own ego, and you really, I don't really feel that you can even be validated this month. Maybe you're just simply saying, well, I'm moving forward, I'm moving on, and I really don't care. And it's just so going to happen that you're going to have the other things and other people almost like validating this. But the truth is, like, all of that is just perception, and this perception is fooling you, because this is saying to you, you can do whatever you want. You can put things together and justice will be served. So don't think about what has been and how you have been treated. Just try to kind of like motivate yourself to go in a completely different direction. I have also pulled one more rune for you, and to me this is like a hangman. Like, I don't know if you ever played a hangman kind of like game as you were a child, right? So, but this rune is called Uruz, and Uruz is a power rune. It's really talking about, you know, wild bulls, and so it's upright, because we can also have the reverse position for this rune. It's really talking about good news, but it's really telling me that, you know, you need to really work on restoring your own vitality. You really need to address some kind of healing. Maybe this is why you're not moving forward. You're saying to yourself, I'm not ready. And if this is kind of like a take that you take on it, this is amazingly positive and it's going in a good direction, because you're saying to yourself, well, you know, it still will take time for me to sort things out, both in my head and in my heart. And maybe like everything that you have been through, you really need to put in their own brackets, and some of them like package and just like send them, like, I mean, to float somewhere forever, right? So maybe you guys had issues with your physical health. So now, like, I mean, this rune Uruz is restoring your health in that case, right? If physical health is not really the problem over here, then, you know, I really think, because you also have chariot, that events will follow one another with really kind of increasing speed, but you will really have this, like, I mean, strength of will, and you will have physical energy, like, and also determination to overcome all obstacles. Your confidence will improve, and just make sure that this doesn't develop into arrogance, right? So the power of the bull basically must be treated with respect, because, you know, a bull can be goaded into the action, but then it's going to be very difficult. If you ever see torridas and that kind of stuff, you cannot stop it and change when it begins, right? This means that you have to have absolute certainty that you want to follow a chosen path. And maybe that's what's happening. Like, you know, this is a big decision. You know, there's like something you want to do. And hence you're saying to yourself, you know what? I just want to make sure that I weed out losers from winners. And this is not to say that you might not have a flirtations encounter over here. Maybe even more than one. Just make sure that you don't expect much from it, as long as you're not putting your heart in it, that you really want to go in this direction. All right, Capricorn, I'm going to pull one more card to seal the reading, and this one came flying out, and it's called Flying. Okay, let me read this one for you, because that's almost like a final message to seal the reading. So this is what it says. You have the power to see things from a higher perspective. If you were a bird flying high in the air, what would you see? When you soar above life challenges and opportunities, a new perspective becomes available. Today and this month, you have invisible wings that allow you to swiftly bring your circumstances into alignment with your highest purpose. This is a sign that your waiting is over, that all your hard work has paid off, and the things you hoped for are no longer beyond your scope. You have the ability to reach for the stars and find one with your name on it. Spread your wings and soar. The angels are waiting for you. So guys, I really think this is going to be a month of big decisions. You will be, I guess, letting go of the past. And it's going to be kind of like bittersweet. Part of you will feel like, why things really didn't work out in a better way. But another part of you will understand how much more maturity you managed to acquire through the process. And also that understanding that not everything is black and white, and that things can actually work out and will work out when you kind of like set your sail on it. And like, you're getting this combination, which is extremely positive over here, right? This is really good. If you really want a positive reading, then you're like almost like wanting to have these cards, right? But you really need to work a little bit on, maybe you need to work on your own attitude, or you need to work on how you deal with people with an attitude. So one or the other, because certainly it's going to be helping you to push yourself in the next level. And almost like I'm feeling like that some of you might be getting a promotion, that some of you might be not just the next one in line, but like almost like 2-1 up. Like, I mean, that somebody's going to notice you, and that energy that kind of like comes with this chariot card, it's really good, because this shows I want to go there, and I know, and I deserve to be there. As far as relationships, I really think you need something better, you need something deeper, and you're going to stop asking yourself silly questions. You're asking yourself why people are lazy and they don't want to work on it. Well, you know, people are people. If we had these answers, we will have extremely happy world, but we don't have it, right? So at least we can do and help with what we have. So my dear Capricorn, this brings us to the end of the reading, and thank you again. You guys have been amazing with your clicks. Hopefully this continues, like clicks and likes and shares. If you want to get a private reading from me, check me out on cattarot.ca. Also, all the information is down in the reading. And lastly, don't forget to check also your ascendant and the moon sign, because it can give you more information. And until the next date that we have, Capricorn, you know that I love you. Wish you all the best.